The method of instruction has really changed since I was an elementary school student, or a high school student for that matter. I memorized facts out of a textbook. I was taught that there was only one correct way to view a concept or to solve a problem, and this was as much true in science as it was in math. And in one of her articles, Diana Rice had stated that the elementary classroom is more diversified than it has ever been, and to teach science to engage more of our students is essential. So therefore, our teaching methods have to evolve and they have to be just as diversified. Today's teachers realize that students are coming into the classroom with prior knowledge, and along with that, they're bringing their own misconceptions into the classroom. My own science education experience, there was no gathering of prior knowledge, and there was no evaluation of misconceptions. And we were left to bounce what we were learning off of our own thoughts and ideas. And my own misconceptions came to light in our class when we discussed the phases of the moon. And I confidently stated that my belief was that the phases of the moon was caused by the Earth's shadow being casted on the moon's surface by the light of the sun. And after a very thought-provoking exercise that involved a flashlight representing the sun and a styrofoam ball representing the moon and myself representing the Earth, and also after studying a diagram on the computer and reading several different explanations of the phases of the moon, I still am confused by the concept. Although today I can tell you that the phases of the moon are not caused by the Earth's shadow being casted upon the surface of the moon. However, I can't confidently provide you with a clear explanation at what causes the phases of the moon. And as a teacher, that makes me nervous to leave a student at that precipice with any content. But I have learned as a pre-service teacher that what we can do is provide and help students by giving them steps to confronting those misconceptions. And I use the word help because I don't believe that we can change anybody's misconceptions for them. The best that we can do is to provide them meaningful interactions with a specific concept and allow them to struggle and be challenged with what they believe the truth is. And we must use our professional judgment to decide when to step in and offer that information or that instruction, and when to take a step back and allow the student to struggle and figure things out on their own. I also learned that as teachers we have to be careful not to plant the seeds of misconceptions in a student's mind where none had existed previously. And this came to light when we read and discussed Dear Mr. Blueberry in class. Upon reading the story, a child could walk away with many different misconceptions about whales that they had not previously had, based off of what the child in the book stated in her questions or her justifications. And I also learned that as I address a student's misconceptions, that I have to be willing to commit instruction time to allow them to be challenged with the concept. And the danger of not providing this time or moving on too quickly is that the student will not have a concrete understanding of that context or that concept in their mind, and so therefore it will always remain questionable to them. And this goes back to my own misconception of the phases of the moon and what causes them. If I would have had more meaningful interaction with the concept, would I have a better understanding of the real reason for the phases of the moon? And I really struggle with the fact that as a teacher, I am going to have to accept the fact that I'm not going to be able to address or change every student's misconception. But what I have learned is that I can build a foundation for a student's education by teaching them the skills that they can take with them that will best serve them in their academic career and throughout the rest of their lives.